not that. We want this. This is 3.5 and 3.6. It's the last section, chapter 3. So we're going to start out with volume of a rectangular prism. Hopefully you guys know how to do this. What's the formula for volume? Length times width times height. So it's just going to be 7 times 3 is 21 times 2 is 42. And then notice it says meters cubed. Volume is always in units cubed. All right. So here we have two triangles that are similar. So letter A, there are three proportions shown below. The ratio in each proportion, compare the length of one of the sides of ABC to one of the corresponding sides of DEF. Complete the proportions. So length AB is 6, and which side does it line up with? ED. So that would be 9. So that's going to line up with ED, or DE. Okay. AC lines up with DF, and BC lines up with EF or FE, however they want to call it, EF. And then we need the ratios. So this ratio is 8 over 12. Those share a 4. So we pull out a 4 and I get 2/3. And then this one lines up with that one. 10 over 15. Pull out a 5 and I get 2/3. Okay. Did I really need to calculate those? No. How come? How did I know they were all going to be 2/3? The first one was 2/3, and it said the triangles are similar. So if you know one of the ratios, then the other two have to be exactly the same. Okay. So choose the correct statement. Each pair of side lengths compared is not the same ratio. That's not true. Each pair of side lengths compared is not the same ratio. That's not true. Each pair of side lengths compared is the same ratio. This is because the side lengths in each pair are lengths of corresponding sides and the triangles are similar. Yes. The last one says each pair of side lengths compared is the same ratio. This is coincidence. We would usually not expect this from similar triangles that are not the same size. So we knew they were all going to be the same because the triangles are similar. Okay. Here we have two triangles that are similar. So we have the small angle, the small angle, the middle angle, the middle angle, and the large angle, and the large angle. So in triangle ABC, A is 26. So this is 26 degrees, which means this is also 26 degrees. B is 36. So my 36 is over here, which means this one is 36. How big is the remaining angle? Well, if we add those together, 26 and 36 would be 72. No, 62. So 180 minus 62 is going to be 118. So both C and F are 118. All right, now I have to do this from the computer. So now I want you to use the ruler to find the side lengths of each triangle. So we take the ruler, we tell it where to start, we tell it where to stop. So ED is 12. So I would find DE, and it is 12. And we need to verify the ratios. So DE lines up with AB. So I turn on the ruler, AB is 6. Okay. So what is AB divided by DE? 0.5. So then you need to go through and measure those. What is this answer going to be? 0.5. And this one will also be 0.5. So there are 3 sets of answers here. You need to choose which one is true. They do have the same measures. They are not all equal to each other, but the triangles are similar. So the side lengths are not equal, but they are proportional. All right, angle bisectors. We need to learn a new theorem. So, whenever you take a triangle, so here we have this large triangle, and on one of the angles you create the angle bisector. So that angle bisector divides this into 2 smaller triangles. Okay? And the angle bisector theorem says that this length divided by, well, let's not use this one. Let's use this one. So we have this little triangle and this little triangle. This length divided by this length is equal to this length divided by this length. Okay? So 9 over 12 is equal to 6 over y. Okay? Cross multiply. 9y equals 54. No. 72, sorry. Divide by 9. 9 goes into 72 8 times. So y equals 8. Okay? So that's pretty simple. You just have to remember how it works. So the length of one side of a triangle divided by the other is equal to the other triangle in the same direction. Okay? But the next triangle is a little confusing. So 4 over 2, or 2 over 4, it doesn't matter. You can do it either way. So 4 over 2 is equal to what? 6 over, it's not x. Close. Okay. We want to know how big this length is from here to here. But they didn't tell us. We know that this distance is x. And we know that this distance is 2. Oh, good. So this distance is whatever x is minus 2. But I don't know what x is. So I'm just going to call it x minus 2. So we put in x minus 2. Then we cross multiply. That gives me 12. What does this give me? So I have to multiply both of them. So 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. You guys understand that? And then we just solve. Add 8. 20 equals 4x. Divide by 4. And x is 5. Do you want to see another one of those? Yeah? Okay, this one's pretty straightforward. 3 over 2 equals y over 4. 12 equals 2y. So y is 6. Okay? So over here, 3 matches up with x. What does 9 match up with? 8 minus x. So this length is 8 and this length is x, but I'm looking for this length. So it will be 8 minus however long x is, but we don't know what x is yet. So we're just going to put 9 over 8 minus x. Okay? So we cross multiply. 9x equals 24 minus 3x. Add 3x. Now you get 12x equals 24. Divide by 12. And x is 2. So it doesn't ask this question, but how long is this side? It's 6. So we just pretended we knew what x was, threw it into the equation, solved for it, and we now know that that length is 6 because this length is 2. Do you need to see another one? No? We're good? All right. Okay. The mid-segment theorem. So this point here is halfway in between y and x. And point L is halfway in between L and z. And point K is halfway between z and x. So the cool thing about that is this segment equals that segment, which equals this segment. And the same is true with all the others. Oh, I did that wrong. So this one and this one. Okay. So if I know that this is 10, how long is that? 5. Okay. If I know that this one is 6, how long is that? 12. Yep. If I know that this is 3, then this is also 3. So the mid-segment theorem is super, super easy. All right. Okay, last problem. So here we have a large triangle and a small triangle, and they told us that this line is parallel to that line. Are the blue triangle and the red triangle similar? Yes. By what theorem? The angle-angle theorem. So they share angle, what does that say? They share angle U, and because of the parallel lines, the other two angles are also congruent. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, it means that this side is proportional to this side. So this side is proportional to that side, and then this side is proportional. Anyway, these two sides are proportional. So some of these can be a little bit tricky. So U to S is 28, and U to V is 16. V to W is 28. Find this one. So we'll put an X up there. So we have large triangle and small triangle. So 28, X, 16, and 28. So these two are proportional to those two. So 28 over 16, this way, is equal to X over 28. Multiply that out. 16x is equal to 28 squared. I don't know what 28 squared is, but I'm going to divide it by 16. So 28 squared divided by 16 is 49. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's do another one. 4, x, 12, and 15. So 4 over 12 is equal to x over 15. Multiply that out. 60 equals 12x. So x is just 5. Okay. But it does get a little bit tricky. Let's say I had 4 and 3 and 10, and I wanted x. Okay. So 4 corresponds to what side? Which, yeah, sorry. I wrote it as an x. Okay. And then what matches up with the rest? Is it going to be 3 over 10? No. Why is 3 over 10 wrong? So if I separate out those two triangles, 4 and x, and then 10, what is this length? It's 7, right? So these are both part of the small triangle, and 10 is part of the long triangle, but 3 is not. It's only a piece of it. So in this case, we have to add the 3 and the 4 together and get 7. Okay, so we cross multiply, and I get 40 equals 7x divided by 7. X is 40 over 7. Okay, let's do one that's kind of the same as that. So let's do x, and this side is 4, and this side is 20. Oh, we need one more side. 20 and 36. So 36 lines up with, we could do 20. So we could do 36 over 20. So long side divided by short side is equal to, what's the long side of the big triangle on the right? The long side. So this. So 36 is the long side. So it has to line up with the long side over there. How long is that side? X. Okay. Divided by, what does 20 line up with? Not 4, right? 20 is the top of the short triangle. So it needs to line up with the right side of the short triangle. X minus 4. So we cross multiply. 20x is equal to 36x minus 72, 144. So I'm going to subtract 36x. Negative 16x equals negative 144. Divide by 16. That's going to be 9. So x equals 9. So on this one, you have to be really careful. This side will always line up with this side, but the top will always line up with the full length. So don't ever match up this length and that length, because that's only a piece of the big triangle. And if it helps, just draw two triangles. Just draw a small one and a big one. And then hopefully that will help you remember. Don't you just use part of it when you're comparing it to that. All right, that is it. Get to work.